Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Canon PRO-300, things to consider before you buy. Alright, so today we're going to take a look at some of the considerations. I'm going to talk about some of the things you should consider before buying a professional printer, specifically the Canon Pro series printers. Things you should consider in terms of how to be prepared for printing, some of the issues about the actual printing process. So let's take a look at it. Now, before we start looking at these considerations, I just wanted to say this: whatever your medium is, digital, if you're doing silver prints, if you're doing cyanotypes, platinum, palladium prints, whatever your final medium, it's always probably the most enjoyable step, because you get to finally see, physically touch, hang on the wall, share your prints with the world. And it is a necessary step, I believe, to every photographer, because looking at images on a screen, it's not the same. Now, what are some of the considerations that one should think about before buying a printer? The first one is image size, okay? Image size is key. I bought the Pro-300 because I can go all the way to A3 Plus, which I believe is 13 by 19 inches. Because if I wanted to print larger, I would prefer to go to a lab, because I know I won't print that large that often. Now, having said that, the inks on the Pro-1100 are cheaper. The cartridges are larger, so that's an interesting consideration too. Because right now with the Pro-300, I'm struggling with the issue of the availability of inks and how often they run out. So that's an issue one should consider. For example, guys, I wanted to shoot I wanted actually to be doing a video right now on the final step of the photographic process series that I started creating my images in, that now post-processing, and now I wanted to do a printing video, but I can't. I don't have all the inks that I need. Just take a look at this, guys. I have right here 2, 4, I have 8 inks right here, okay? 2 yellows, I have a PBK, I have a chroma optimizer, another PBK, I have a photo cyan, I have a red, and I have a cyan, and yet I can't print because there is one cartridge that's missing, one ink that's missing, and that is the also I'm low on gray and the photo magenta. I don't have that one. It's on its way, and it's going to take 10 days to get here. I'm ordering it through Amazon, and on the Canon website, it's not available. You should seriously think about this. Now, part of what I do is to sell prints. So I always have to have backup of inks, because if I sell a print and I don't have a print that's already ready to go and I need to print it, I need to have the inks available. In this case, I'm in a tough spot because it's going to take 10 days for my cartridge to get here. Now, buying all the inks and having all the inks in reserve, it's quite expensive. The price of the printer itself should not be an issue. If you buy the Canon PRO-300 or the Canon PRO-1100, that should not be an issue. you should be thinking about the inks. In hindsight, maybe I should have bought the Canon PRO-1100 because the cartridges are larger. It takes more time for me to run out of inks, and the inks are cheaper per ml. So I should have thought about that, but I didn't know. That's an advice you guys should think about. Okay, the price of the printer is not that important because you will be spending more money on inks over time. So that's an interesting consideration. I mean, I don't regret it. It's a great printer and so on, but it's something you should consider. You should definitely consider. All right. Another consideration: there is a learning curve to every printer or to every printing process that you have to take into account. It took me a while to find my own process throughout the years, especially because, for example, with the Canon, okay? Canon has a great software, what is it, the PPL software, that is very accurate. It uses the profiles very well, so that you don't have to add an extra step. Let me explain. Here I have some papers that I use. I love the Canson papers, Canson Infinity, and also the Canon Premium Matte. This right here creates some beautiful images that almost feel like you're looking at a painting. So when I print in black and white, I use my Canson papers. Printing black and white, in my opinion, is more difficult than color, because if you have the wrong profile, or if you're not careful about your process, you can end up with color casts. Because even when you're printing a black and white image, I have noticed that the printer will use some inks to help. So you have to be careful with that. So the learning curve means you're going to go through some paper and some inks and time, which is okay. I mean, it's part of the process, right? Just gonna move this out of the way a little bit. Fortunately, Canon has it can print patterns like this, where it gives you variation of, for example, in this case, cyan, magenta, and yellow variations, which can be very helpful for you to fine-tune your image. Because guys, at the end of the day, after creating all profiles for your camera, profiles for post-processing, using the paper profile, at the end of the day, what matters is your print. So under the same lighting conditions that you're going to hang your images or display your images, for that matter, is how you have to do your hard proofing, your fine evaluation. Personally, I've noticed with this printer, actually with Photoshop and with Lightroom, the soft proofing option, which uses the profile for the paper, so you can try to match it on the screen, is not that accurate. I've noticed that it tends to be a little bit darker, and it loses a little bit of detail in the shadows as compared to when you print. Having said that, we have to keep in mind that, you know, when we start with a 25 or 45 megapixel image, a raw file, and then you look at it in your monitor, I mean, no matter how good your monitor is, it's still it's at a, let's put it this way, a lower resolution or quality when it's displayed on the screen. And then when you print, we have to remember that a print is a reflective media. It does not project light. Even with some, for example, with this Barriera paper that I'm using, Yes, it does help with some of the whites and some of the shadow detail and so on, but it's a print is a representation of your, let's say, your digital negative, your raw file. Okay, so those are things we have to consider when printing. Now, would I recommend this printer? Absolutely. Would I buy a different printer if I had the chance? Would I have bought the 1100? Maybe. I'm happy right now. I'm happy with it so far. But I need to be careful. I need to have all my inks ready all the time. Yes, one more tip. Right now, there is the new PRO-310, and I was considering one or the other, and I ended up buying the older version, and let me explain you why. The differences in image quality, to be honest, some of the shadow retrieval, as they say, and some of the advantages, to be honest, I don't think it's worth it. First reason, you're not going to be able to see the difference between a print from the 300 to the 310. And if you do, it's going to be minimal. There is a price difference between those printers too, so I went for this one. Second reason, I cannot say this with 100% certainty, but from doing some research and talking to some other photographers, they told me that the new PRO-310 uses more ink than the 300. That means you're going to spend more money on inks in the long run. So I cannot confirm this, but from what I have heard from some of my friends, that's what they told me. So those are the things to consider, guys. Other than that, I mean, it's a big printer, but it has to be big. It takes a lot of space, yes. But these are the negatives. This video is about the negatives, or the things you should consider. I looked at the Epson printers before buying this one, and I mean, honestly, there wasn't a lot of difference in options, and I really like the fact, let me explain this, I really like the fact that the Canon software is great at printing. It really is, because if I didn't use the Canon software, especially for black and white, I would have to go through another step in Photoshop in order to be able to do some more hard proofing. The pattern prints, which are very helpful in deciding on how to print your image, is very helpful. So this is a short video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully next week we're going to have a the third part of the series on printing, and in that video I'm going to go into more details about the printing process, using paper profiles, doing some hard proofing, and so on and on and on. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps the channel. It helps me to create content like this. And happy shooting.